It says we were recording. I don't know if we are live yet. I believe we are.
Yep, we're live.
All right. New program to us too, so we've been doing this a while, but then you made a change. So, all right. Here's the intro.
You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee Podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Howdy, folks. Welcome in. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast. My name's Steve. I think up top on the screen, or maybe to my right on
There's no
YouTube.
telling by the time this
Yeah,
thing's
somewhere
done.
on the screen is that guy there. His name is Soul Gravy.
Right.
Thanks for being here, Soul Gravy. It's your
No
show,
problem.
so thanks for
Been
letting me
looking-
be here.
I've been looking forward to this.
Likewise, we are incredibly happy to have our friend Casper McWade on the podcast tonight. Welcome in, Casper.
Hey, man. Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Heck yeah, man. Understand that you made quite a drive to get here to this podcast, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah. That was a ridiculous 22 hours.
Oof, man, appreciate the dedication. First off, folks, thank you for being here. If you see us on Facebook, say hi. We'd love to have you join us on YouTube. Congrats, Soul Gravy. Over 2,000 subscribers, so
I
doing
know.
something right.
Crazy.
Yeah. So come join us on YouTube, folks. You can get involved in the chat. You can ask questions. We may or may not use them, but appreciate you being there. Casper, if you don't mind, could you take a couple minutes and just give us a little bit of your backstory? Anything that you think we should know?
Yeah, man. I got a similar story to a lot of, especially folks like myself from my area. Little Oklahoma, born and raised. I've been out here. I was born in Seminole, which is 8 miles from here, where I'm at right now at my place out here in Little. I've traveled the whole 8 miles of my whole existence with what I do for a living. So yeah, got started in church with my grandparents. Doing the whole thing with gospel music and old country stuff, Bob Wills and things of that nature. That and traditional Irish music. I grew up on that stuff quite a bit. Family of immigrants. And so yeah, just kicking ass for a long time out here doing the same old thing. But that's the way you got to do it. You got to stay at it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate the background. We're going to try to ask the right questions so we can get to know you a little bit better. But before we get to that, this is everybody's favorite section of the evening. I've been told. Why are they famous?
All right.
This version is Little, Oklahoma. Casper is the most famous person from Little. So congrats on that.
Man, yeah, it's an honor that's been bestowed upon me, considering there's like 300 people here.
Well, I mean, it's impressive. We did have, was it Stanley, Idaho, that we had on that had 42 people, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
And half of them were part of the Braun family. So it's a tough deal. But so tonight we're going to go 8 miles to the west to Seminole, and then
Okay.
we're going to go 15 miles over to Shawnee. Those are the two towns that we're going to use.
Yeah.
Casper suggested maybe I should do that, so smart enough to know that I
Understand.
probably should. So good luck, Soul Gravy.
Oh yeah. And if you happen to know any of these folks, Casper, please.
Feel free. No
Yeah, don't-
pressure, but if
yeah.
you do, so occasionally somebody will actually know the person, so it makes it a little bit more fun. So some of these you aren't going to know, at least now. I can tell you that, Soul Gravy.
What else is new? All right.
Yep. All right. First person from Seminole, Oklahoma. His name is Arthur Jones. Why is
Okay.
Arthur Jones famous?
I don't think I'm familiar with Arthur.
Okay. Arthur, born in 1926, died in 2007. He's the founder of Nautilus.
Wow.
Okay.
It's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty badass stuff. I had no clue.
Yeah, well, there we go. All right. Second person from Seminole. His name is Joe Liggins. He also had kind of a famous brother. Let's see if that helps.
No, not familiar.
Um, he was an early pioneer of rock and roll. He had a song called "The Honey Dripper."
I've heard of a. Was it a movie or a band called the Honey Drippers? I can't remember.
Honey Drippers was Robert Plant, and it was
That's right.
a couple of all-star guys.
Gotcha.
I'd be hard pressed to tell you exactly who, but I'm pretty sure Robert Plant was in that.
Gotcha.
All right. Next one, Jesse Pearson. I went down the rabbit hole on Jesse Pearson. So,
Uh-oh. There's a rabbit hole. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, if there's a rabbit hole in Seminole, Oklahoma, it's usually got a rabbit.
that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Jesse was a failed musician turned actor.
And I thought I was famous.
Yeah.
He was in one movie, Bye Bye Birdie.
Right on.
Probably from the 60s, I'm thinking.
Right. Yeah.
And then also had spots on Bonanza, Andy Griffith, and the Beverly Hillbillies.
Nice.
Yep. Shout out to Jesse.
What was his name?
Jesse Pearson. He also, well, this is the rabbit hole I probably should stay away from, but he also later in life directed some movies that your kids can't watch.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, they could, but hopefully they're not. But I mean, not judging.
Okay, I remember.
That's why I know his name.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
I remember those movies. No, I can't make it show up.
Yeah, no, I see it. Looks good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I remember from one of the old classic TV shows, and I can't remember what it was. He was a musician in the show.
Yeah, could have been Bonanza, maybe. No.
No. He was in like a rock and roll band. He was like a Teen Idol sort of character on the show. I can't remember. Like a,
Gotcha.
I don't remember what it was, but anyway.
We will get the intern on that, Soul Gravy.
Right.
We'll find that out. All right, next up, Troy Smith. Common name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm familiar.
Seminole still?
Yes, we are still in Seminole. Yep.
Yeah.
Troy Smith is, well, if you spend any time on the road in or around Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, or Texas, you're going to run into one of these. Does that help?
No.
He's the founder of Sonic Drive-In.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
I was misinformed and was told he was from Shawnee.
Well, so I think he was born in Seminole. I think he did live, according to my research, in Shawnee, but he was born in Seminole. So shout out to.
Yeah, there's more to that. There's the original first drive-in that he and a partner had. It's still in Shawnee, still open today. It's called the Brown Derby. That's where a lot of folks go, for their 50s nights and whatever, their hot rods, and go pull into the drive-in. And
super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Is it anywhere? This may be a stupid question, but is it anywhere near Route 66?
I mean, everything here is near Route 66.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
We're within a few miles.
I got you. Okay, and it was Andy Griffith was the show that he was on as a rock and roll.
That makes us feel
person.
good.
Yep.
All right, Jesse Mashburn.
Mm-mm.
This one's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm familiar with his work.
Jesse won a gold medal in the 1956 Olympics. He was on the 4x100 team. So shout out to Jesse. Jesse's fast. All right, here we go. You're going to start doing better, I think.
Okay.
Shawnee, Oklahoma, 15 miles away. Also, I didn't mention Soul Gravy because I know you're a Turnpike fan, but Okima's 25 minutes to the east, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't intentionally wear the Turnpike shirt tonight, but it
well
worked out.
Yeah, for sure. That worked out well.
All
right. This gentleman's name's Brad Pitt.
I'm familiar with Brad Pitt. Yeah.
He was born. I know he spent a lot of time in Missouri, but he was born in Shawnee.
Okay.
Shawnee, Medical Center, to be specific. Martha Lillard.
I recognize that name, but I'm not familiar with who she is.
All right. Well, this is a little bit obscure, but she's a polio survivor, best known for being the last person living in the iron lung. If you've ever seen the iron lung.
I believe I have.
I hadn't seen that one.
Well, it's this huge machine that attaches and allows you to breathe, but it's iron.
Oh,
so
okay.
you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
go-
I got you.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere with it. All right. Patrick Cobbs, Soul Gravy.
Damn. No, I'm not familiar. No.
He's a running back, played for the Dolphins. I think he played at the University of Oklahoma as well. All right. Leroy Gordon Cooper.
Everybody that's been around Shawnee's going to know who Gordon Cooper is. That's one of the biggest names in the town, and most so many different. There's a Gordon Cooper. The whole areas. Everything is Gordon Cooper. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want to?
I'm not familiar.
Like to phone a friend?
Yeah. I'd like to ask Casper who he is.
I couldn't tell you exactly who he is, but I believe it has something to do with outer space.
Yes, he was one of the original Mercury 7 astronauts. So
yeah.
Here's another one.
Does that have anything to do with Sonic? The name Sonic?
I don't believe it does.
Probably not. Just coincidence.
I can make that connection, but whatever. All right.
It's a small area.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Right.
It is pretty small. Yeah.
The next one, I had to do a little research because I was not familiar, but Jeremy Dawson and Gregory Chad Petrie.
Yeah.
They are
the shiny toy guns.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I know them both personally.
Oh, do you? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I've not heard their music until today.
And he's got Chad has an older brother named Steve Petrie, and back in the early '90s, they had a pop group called PC Quest, and they were on MTV and a bunch of different things. So yeah, they were kind of famous as children, and then they kept on doing, started into, of course, the '90s scene started happening, and Chad was my age, and so started doing alternative kind of stuff and grunge.
Yeah, I don't know how I would describe Shiny Toy Guns. I think it's one of those that you'd have to just go listen to because I don't. It's not in my repertoire to describe what it is because it's super unique.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, Jeremy was always that really unique kid, a keyboard player and all into the electronica stuff, and and Chad's a really really talented guitarist and vocalist and songwriter.
That's awesome. All right. Very cool.
Yeah, of course we joke with them and call them the Shawnee Toy Guns.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It's really close, right?
Yeah. All right. Soul Gravy, I got faith in you on this one. Wade Hayes.
Oh yeah, I remember. Wade was or I'm sure it still is, but had some hits in the '90s in country music.
Shout out to Wade.
I was trying to remember the songs, but I would be wrong. So
yeah, I didn't go down.
Old enough to know better.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yes. Okay.
There you
go. Right.
That was his big hit in the early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of ties to Wade. I know Wade and his father Don and his mother Trish and all. I mean, everybody knows the Hayes family around here.
Okay. Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Brewster Higley, maybe my favorite name of the evening.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I'm not either.
Brewster was a homesteader, if that gives you a clue. But he also was a doctor and a poet of one of the most famous songs, at least in these parts, Home on the Range.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So shout out to Brewster.
I learned something
I'm
new.
going to be super disappointed if you don't get this one. Creed Humphrey.
Creed is a football player. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
He does. That happens to be Soul Gravy's favorite team.
Right.
Yeah,
So
he was the pride of Shawnee High School.
I'm trying to remember where he went to college. I was
Oklahoma University.
OU. Yeah.
Did he? Okay.
I think he played center, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
still, yeah.
Yeah, he's badass. All right. 3 more. You're going to get one of them. There's a chance you're definitely not going to get one of them.
Okay.
And you might get one of them. All right. So,
Okay.
Ross Porter.
I don't think I'm familiar with him.
Ross Porter was a long time sidekick of Vin Scully. He was the announcer
Okay.
for the Dodgers. So if you ever listen to any Dodgers
That was
baseball,
I was a Jack Buck guy. I didn't get to listen to him, but he still um, he still knew how important he was.
yep. Soul Gravy spent some time, Casper, in the well,
The AM
tell
radio
us what
world.
you did, Soul Gravy.
Well, yeah, I was in high school. I did commercial or played the commercials for all the St. Louis Cardinals baseball games, and that was when
Oh,
Jack
right
Buck
on.
and Mike Shannon were still on the call. And I was not a baseball fan, but after hearing Jack and Mike do those things, and it was the McGuire Sosa chase years, so I became a baseball fan at that point in time because I had to listen to 182 games or whatever the hell it is. So
Yeah, I love playing baseball, but I can't stand to watch or listen to it.
Yeah,
Because
understand.
it's the most boring sport to watch or listen to. Well,
It's a
that and
little
golf.
tough. Yeah.
yeah, but
I'd,
that
I'd
time
rather I'd
period
rather golf blindfolded than to watch baseball.
during that time period, it was more exciting just because of what was going on and how big of a deal it was in the sports world in general. But
It was
yeah,
juiced.
yeah, I'll definitely.
Yeah. All right. Robert Reed, Soul Gravy. Who is Robert Reed?
I'm not sure.
Does the name Mike Brady help?
Yeah, yeah. Was he the actor that played Mike Brady?
Yep. He went to attended Woodrow Wilson Grade School in Shawnee. I don't
Okay.
know where he was born because I didn't go down that rabbit hole. But shout out to Mike Brady.
All
All
right.
right. Last, definitely not least,
Uh-oh.
Jim Thorpe.
Jim was he was a baseball player, was he not? I don't remember.
He was everything. He was a pro
Okay.
football, baseball, basketball. I think he was in the Olympics, running around with one shoe. He actually was born on the eastern edge of Potawatomi County, but called Shawnee his home. So shout out to Jim Thorpe.
All
Folks,
right.
that.
There's a few more.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of surprised that you didn't get, especially one of these.
Yeah.
One of them is very close ties to Wade Hayes. And he's the one that took Wade with him out to Nashville when Wade was discovered. And he's one of my favorite songwriters of all time. He's still kicking, and he's had like 14 number ones on the Texas charts. And a fellow named Jamie Richards.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I did not know he was from. Okay.
He is.
Yeah,
He is. He's a. Yeah, he and I have a lot in common. We've written a few together, but his birthday is actually the day before mine.
Oh,
And,
nice.
we've got a ton in common. And but these, but another one, Darian Gordon. He was there's a big sign when you pull into, or there used to be, if the tornado didn't wipe it out. Another NFL
Chargers.
football player.
Yeah, Raiders and Chargers. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I remember. Yep. Yeah, he's a hell of
He's
a
a
player.
Shawnee boy.
Okay. Yep. I think did he win a Super Bowl, or maybe he was in a Super Bowl or two?
I'm
I'm not sure if he won or not, but I know he's seen at least one.
Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks. I'm going to put you on, Casper, on homework next week.
We finally got an intern.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Well, Casper, thanks so much for allowing us to do that section. We're going to now spend a little bit of time getting to know you a little bit better. I have a weird question to start off, but it kind of helps me figure out where you sit musically. So we call it the pie question, and it's a musical pie, and we divide it up into 4 sections. So those 4 sections are songwriting, performance, recording, and then the 4th piece of the pie is everything else that is involved in running your music business that's not one of those first 3 pieces. So
Right
the first question is, where do you sit, or where is home for you out of those 4 pieces? Where do you feel most comfortable and kind of at home?
In the studio.
In the studio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And at what point did you figure that out? Because I
That's
want to
not
say
we don't hear that answer that often.
No.
To be honest,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
usually the writing or performing. Is usually the top two
Yeah.
answers. So that's cool.
Well, it's a little bit of a loaded answer, because I mean, if you're going in the studio and you're pressed for time, that's one of the toughest. That's one of the biggest bummers there can be.
Sure.
But if you get the opportunity to go in the studio and create, and and play around a little bit, it's the most rewarding thing you can do as a songwriter. When you come out with this product and you're super stoked and super proud of it, and for me at least, I don't give a shit if anybody likes it. But they don't have to. But 9 times out of 10, if it's something you're really proud of, somebody's going to dig it.
Yeah, for sure. So, at what point did you figure out like, oh, this is what I really, really enjoy? I mean, was that right out of the gate when you first started recording, or was that a little bit further down the road?
It was a little further down the road. I mean, that's I've had to earn everything I've had. I didn't have a bank account to live on when I went out. So it was every hour I'm sitting there watching the clock, and I'm like,
Right.
we got to rush this along, and we got to hurry it because we've only got so much time left. And then the last record that I did was probably the most rewarding. That one and the one that's coming out here soon, and it's because I learned to not jump in feet first without some kind of a budget, because it's just you're gonna walk off bummed. It might turn out amazing. However, what more could you have done if you'd had a little bit of time?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple questions. You kind of hinted at there that you've got a new one coming out, and I know there's a little bit of I don't know, it's a twist, but can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with the new one?
Yeah, it's that one's a labor of love. I've been wanting to put it out for years. I started off in country music when I was in my late teens, 17, 18, 19, and started doing a lot of different things. I was doing some of the talent shows, like the stuff you see on TV. And I got to meet a bunch of big writers that I like a lot, like Craig Martin and guys like that from Nashville. And well, I got bummed out on it. Met my best friend in '93, and still my best friend today. And he was getting really into like Nirvana and the old punk rock scene, and he was like, "Man, just listen to it." He's like, they're saying the same thing you're saying in your songs. It's just faster."
Yeah.
And it really was. The stuff they were love songs. They were just faster and angrier.
Right.
And I was getting older and angrier, in my 18, 19, 20 years old. I was like, well, it just kind of fit. And so I started writing punk rock songs. And then that's what this new record isn't. I wouldn't call it punk rock. I'd call it just rock and roll. But
right.
But that's what it is. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've had these songs for a long time and never got to record them correctly. And I was like, well, I've got these songs that I think they need to be shared with the world, but I don't want to just give them to somebody else. And I was like, no, I've worked too hard to do what I want to do. And so this record, this one's for me. If other people don't like it, that's cool. But this one's for me.
Yeah, it's great, man. I can't wait. Actually, I don't know if it was the last time I saw you, but the last time I saw you face to face was I was telling Soul Gravy about trees. We were down at Cody's deal, which was awesome. But I think that we might not see any more of that, unfortunately. So
I don't think Cody's going to do another one.
Yeah.
When I last asked him about it, he didn't see one on the horizon.
Yeah. Well, maybe down.
I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit more in general, but did him going back to those roots influence you making this album at all, or is it something?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think if you get the chance to ask him, he'll tell you that I said I was going to do it years before he ever did. Cool. It's just he just said we come from very similar backgrounds. He had a metal band and I had a punk band, and I was like, well, of course. Cody's got a little bit more wiggle room in the old bank account. He can jump right in there and get it done, which I thought was awesome. I'm not saying he stole my idea. Nothing like that. It just
Right.
we spoke about it around the same time, and he just had the way to get it done. Uh, Before I did, I've spent the last 3 years polishing this record.
Yeah.
He was able to. I mean, he was able to get it done, and it sounded great.
Yeah.
I was able to limp along.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah, I think if he keeps at it, he's going to be fine one day.
Never
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He might be able to make a living at this thing.
Right? Yeah. That extra
Um,
piece of cornbread if he needs it.
so that was just something y'all had in common from
Yeah,
the
it was
beginning.
something we had.
So
Yeah.
very cool. One thing I want to say before we move on and I forget. When I came this October, Steve, I went down to Chiefs
Hmm.
when we were just walking around, and they had that shirt that you have behind you there, laying
Oh yeah.
there, Casper. They had one of those in their used, their vintage collection. And I was like, "Oh, damn, that's cool. We'll be having him on soon." And I looked at it; it was a small. And I was like, "Damn."
Dude, you
Sure.
should have been rocking that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would have looked like
You'd have
the
got 3 more viewers than we're going to have this on this right here.
That's right.
yeah,
They'd be like, you see that guy's shirt? Do
exactly.
they make that in adult sizes?
You see that hairy belly button? Uh,
Well,
yeah,
fun fact: I actually saw Casper play at Chiefs.
Oh, that's been a little while ago.
Yeah, this maybe even pre-Pandy. I don't know. It's been a little bit, but yeah, that was super fun.
well,
Yeah, back when I was still a long-haired hippie.
well. Speaking of 2020, and it is the holidays. I was doing some crack research here during some of those questions. You got a Christmas song that's out, and then it was released in 2020. So I actually looked, and
Yeah,
that's an original as well.
yeah, yeah.
Poor Kid Christmas. So if y'all want to, find some actual original Christmas music, it is out there.
It's out there. Yeah,
Our
I
homie Adam Hood got one, and now I see you got
yeah,
that one. So
yeah. I didn't actually when I wrote that, I had no intention of it being a Christmas song. It's just all the memories of at grandmother's house for a lot of us. That's Hub Central. That's family. That's Family Central, where everybody went, and usually when the matriarch is gone, that whole unit's gone, and so we was sitting around one day and I was talking about it and I sat down and I was writing about all the stuff. We were dirt broke, man, and we didn't have anything. But when we went to grandma for Christmas, everybody had something.
Yep.
And I was just sitting around thinking about that, and I started writing it down. I got done with it and I sent it over to my steel player, and he sent me back. He's like, man, he's like, you ain't gonna want to hear this. I was like, what? Does it suck? He's like, no. He said, but I hate for you to be known for a Christmas song after all these heartfelt songs you've written. He's like, everybody's going to know you're going to have a Burl Lives kind of bullshit. I was like, well, thanks for that, man. Yeah.
exactly. Uh, I mean I mean honestly that's something that a lot of people you can't even put on their resume. I mean that's a hard thing to do honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That's not cheesy, and that's
right.
if you're a songwriter, you don't want to put out anything that's not quality, and then to do a Christmas song it's difficult all the way around.
Yeah, it is. And I actually kind of struggled with whether or not I was going to put it out. And then we went to the studio and recorded Chris, my steel player, and we went down there and did the recording. And it turned into something way bigger than what it started. And I was like, you know what? This is fantastic. I think we're going to have to release this. And so we did. We put it out to Texas radio. We didn't release it worldwide or anything, but there's a handful of stations that play it. They've been playing it every year for the last 4 or 5.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty
Great.
cool.
It made the Christmas playlist that we do every year. So shout out to Casper on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we are ready for a little halftime. So,
Yep.
Casper, when we play this song, if you don't mind just hitting the mute button, that way we'll get the best cut of it. But this is "Rather Be Lonely,"
If I can find what you do.
which is out on Texas radio right now. Casper, you want to tell us anything about it?
I do. This song right here, when we went to the studio to do the last record, Something for the Pain, the guy that was producing it is a fellow named Josh Thompson. He's a bass player for Cody Jinks and also has produced the last handful of Cody records. And we were really low on material. I'd sent him like some 16 songs. And he's like, all right, you got 4 songs. I was like, dude, you shouldn't fall back in it too. I've got 16 songs. And it was an interesting exchange, and he's like, man, he's like, no, he's like, he said, I like everything there. He said, but I've got a vision for this record. And so, and it's, to his credit, it is the most cohesive thing I think I've ever done. But that song was written right before we went in the studio. I was like, I've got to write something right now. And I kind of had the idea on the back burner. We got done with it anyhow. And Josh asked, he said, man, you mind if I share this with Cody and the rest of the guys? And, he's like, man, this was my favorite one. So yeah, it's my favorite one so far too. And I guess Morning Star and Jinx and all those guys, the general consensus was it was everybody's favorite one. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep, but, super cool. Well, Josh is great, and folks, give this one a listen. No pressure, Soul Gravy. Here you go.
All right, I'll figure out the mute button here.
I'm what's left when good guys lose. You can't say that I don't care when you know damn well I do. It took years to walk away from the hell you put me through, but I'd rather be lonely than lied to. Lust devoid of trust, true lovers can't sustain. A liar, no reply. If you ask me, they're both the same. If you can't look me in my eyes, then you don't deserve my name. I'd rather be lonely than lied to. Every tear you cry, they will only fall in vain. Call it meanness, call it pride, call it pleasure for the pain. And I'll say goodbye with a smile on my face. And finally I'll wash my hands of you. I'd rather be lonely. Tell your friends what I did or didn't do. But you and me and God, we all know what isn't true. To make a devil out of me won't make an angel out of you. Yeah, I'd rather be lonely than lied to. Just keep on spreading lies while you try to hide your shame. Wanna ruin me with spite, girl, you play a dangerous game. I'll remove you from my life and you'll no longer point the blame. Yeah, I'd rather be lonely than lied to. Every tear you cry, they will only fall in vain. Call it meanness, call it pride, call it pleasure for the pain. And I'll say goodbye with a smile on my face. And finally I'll wash my hands of you. Every tear you cry, they will only fall in vain. Call it meanness, call it spite, call it something for the pain. I'll say goodbye with a smile on my face. And finally I'll wash my hands of you. I'd rather be lonely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Boy, you can hear Josh's influence on that.
Oh yeah, I actually told him when we started to do this whole project, and he'd come on as the producer. I said, "Man, whatever you do, don't jinx me." I said, "That's all I need is to put out a record that sounds like Cody Jinx, and everybody's on my ass about, oh, you're ripping off Jinx or whatever, you know."
No, that was tasteful.
Yeah.
But I mean, as somebody who has spent a little bit of time with Cody's stuff, yeah, you could hear Josh's.
Oh yeah, there's definitely an influence in it. Yeah, if you play that record next, up beside it, anything I put out prior, there's a definite difference.
No question.
Was that intentional?
I'm gonna guess it was on Josh's end, not necessarily on mine.
You were just going in with
I just went in with my
trusting his
songs,
ears.
and trusting. He's the guy with platinum records on his wall. I was like, yeah. Apparently,
Well,
you know a little bit more about it than I do, so let's
It
move
definitely
with
gets
it.
you moving. That's for sure.
Right.
well,
Yeah,
those
and the majority of the record is that way. There's only one or two like super slow songs, and which is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I write slow, sad country songs most of the time, and but it sure makes a difference on the live performance. We do that new record, and it's a whole different deal. You get the dance hall crowd, you get the rowdy people off from the back. Maybe some of them you didn't want there so much.
Understand.
Well, there's something also to be said about. I mean, there's not a lot of independent guys running around with platinum stuff on their wall, so I mean that makes it
Exactly.
even
Yeah.
more impressive. So, I do want to know when people come up to you. So you have a great voice, and it's pretty unique. But I'm curious. Over the years, people will come up to you, I'm sure, at the merch booth and be like, "Hey, man, I love your voice. You remind me of fill in the blank."
Oh my
So,
God, man, there's been so many, and most of them I just don't get it. Had a guy come up and said, "Man, you sound just like Toby Keith." I was like, "You've never heard Toby Keith, have you?"
no, haven't really, not really.
I was like, that doesn't sound at all. And I've been told that I had a guy told me once that I sounded like Bruce Springsteen, and I was like, I take offense to that. Get the hell out of here with that.
Wow. What are you listening to?
But yeah, it's I get it all the time, and I get Jinx a lot, which is if we did a duet together, and if I'm being honest, when we first got it back, he and I both looked at each other like, which one of us is that singing right there?
Hmm.
And it took a minute to just make the distinction,
Right.
especially before we had it mastered. And once it was mastered, it was a little bit more clear who was who. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, that was I mean, a great cover to pick, but also
Yeah, that's
there was
my
a
favorite
charitable
Alice in
aspect
Chains.
to that too, right?
I'm sorry. What'd you say? I didn't mean to walk over you on that.
Oh no, it's all right. I just said there was a great selection. Obviously, you guys both fit that one really well, but there was also a charitable aspect to that song as
Yeah.
well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, man. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. We've got to help a lot of people through doing that song, and of course, if I'd have put it out by myself, it might have done a little something, but it wasn't going to do what it's going to do with Jinx on it, And I'll go to my grave saying thank you to Cody for doing that. But it's benefits the MAPS project, which is Military Assistance Program, and so there's it's the branch that we went through was through Louisiana. I know some of those guys personally, and everybody's wounded veterans and family of folks who didn't come home, and things like that. And so I come from a very military family, and so those things are very dear to me.
Sure.
And if you watch the video, it gives you the link to donate at the end. But there's actually Jinx's grandfather, my grandfather. There's a bunch of we had a lot of people. It was a lot of fun because we're like, hey, send us your veterans, and my sister's in it, and which is one of my favorite veterans.
Yep.
We're what they call Irish twins. We're 11 months apart,
Okay.
and so we grew up real close. And she's an Army veteran, and my grandfather was a Marine Corps, and I made the mistake one time of saying that at the dinner table when he was still with us. When I was a kid, and I grew up with my grandparents, and I had a friend over, and I said, "Yeah, my grandpa used to be a Marine."
Mm-hmm.
Still is.
There's no such thing as used to be a Marine.
Right. Well, that's what grandpas do. They're there to correct you. So,
Yeah.
I do want to ask about the Irish band because I don't know if everybody knows about the Irish band, but I know a little bit about it. But I'd like to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, man, that's one of my guilty pleasures, man. I grew up with the listening to the old, the Dubliners and the Clancy brothers, and in the '60s that was, of course I was born in the '70s, but in the '60s that was huge, and like I said, I've got Irish and Scottish on both sides, and so I've been listening to that my whole life, and so it's a guilty pleasure. I'll go in here and there and do nothing but traditional Irish songs at some Irish pub just because, but we tour it once a year. We do 7 Drunken Nights tour, March 11th through the 17th. you know, 7 nights up to St. Patrick's Day.
Yep, Ides of March.
And yeah, there's that 4 or 5 of us on stage in kilts playing nothing but traditional Irish music, slinging beer mugs, and you know, but it's called Rebels Dash Devils, and we put a record out last year, very DIY, very like it should be with trad music,
Right.
and you know, but it is absolutely don't play it for the kids. There's parental advisory stickers. You know, that should just be the whole album cover, just a parental advisory
Big sticker. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's a ton of fun, but it's a guilty pleasure.
All right. So if these shows typically, when you say you tour it, where are we doing the Irish shows in general at?
It's all over the U.S. I mean, it varies. We don't usually do the same venue.
Okay.
Twice, but we have the last couple of years on the 16th and 17th. We've ended up in Clinton, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And a place called Boxcars up there, and it's a lot of fun. But these shows usually they'll sell out, you know, because it's something we only do once a year. Something so different, and it's just so much fun. Everything's super upbeat, and it's you know, it's half comedy and half
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing.
Shout out to the Boxcar folks. They were at Edie Fest, Jason Edie's way down in Mississippi festival a couple weeks ago, and got to meet those guys, which was really cool. It's always really cool to see all these different venues supporting things like that. They happened at North Springs, you know, all these different venues were there, Bucks and Bird's Nest and all. That's really cool to see, and it was good to meet them. Um, I have to ask though, meeting people, how did the Morning Star Jinx? I'm assuming probably Tennessee Jet and all of those connections. How did that eventually happen for you?
Well, man, TJ's from Oklahoma. He's
Right.
from right up the road from me. And you know, so I'd see him around Tulsa, Oklahoma City, you know, just different places before he got hooked up with Cody and started opening shows for him. Morning Star, I met out in Whitwell, Tennessee, at a fellow named Pee Wee Moore's place.
Okay.
And if you don't know who Pee Wee is, he's like an outlaw country artist, like from the old school. He was David Allan Coe's guy for a while.
Oh, okay.
And he's a singer songwriter as well. He's still out there kicking ass. And I met Morning Star back then when he was just getting started. Had the Stetson open road and had a cock to the side, looking like Hank Williams Sr. You know, dressed in the you know
100%.
yeah, look, you know. But he was I met him through Billy Don Burns and everybody that was at Pee Wee's, and you know, then Jinx I met in Texas. You know, I'd released my song Whiskey back in 2013, 2014, something like that. And he had just started pushing a song called Hippies and Cowboys. And before he got picked up and became Cody fucking Jinx,
Right.
he was just Jinx leaving the fucking radio place, and I was going in.
Right.
You know, and you know, of course, full circle. Everybody knows he ended up cutting that song on his record, The Wanting, and so you know that's very cool of him.
Okay,
But,
I didn't know
yeah.
if they. I was so all of them were independent situations for the most part, as far as
Yeah.
you meeting these different folks. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Every one of them was in passing at a different play at a venue or something like that. You know, and we all run the same circles.
Yeah.
And
No, I figured that. I just didn't know who would lead to. I wasn't sure where the map was, so there really
Yeah, well,
wasn't really necessarily a map besides just being
yeah.
doing what you do.
Surprisingly enough, Jinx wasn't the common denominator.
Right.
You know, I've met these guys well before they started working with him or doing any of that.
Sure.
With the exception of Ward Davis, you know, I don't know that anybody had met Ward Davis anywhere other than through Jinx.
Right.
You know, because they've done so much together over the years. And you know, I didn't meet him prior. I met him through Cody.
I got you.
I did hear the story of maybe I shouldn't share this, but I did hear the story of how Ward and Cody originally met recently through a gentleman who used to be Ward's booking agent. So
Ron
I'll share
Downey.
that. I'll share that later.
No, it wasn't Ron Downey.
Yeah.
Right.
But great stuff. Do you want to talk at all, Casper, about your annual festival that you have there?
Well, no, there's not much to talk about. I decided that this last one was going to be the last one.
Oh, okay. Well, all
It
right.
was.
There you go.
I mean, I'll still end up doing something out here, but it won't be Spurgeon Palooza. I was doing that for years in honor of my best friend who was killed, and I did it for 10 years, and
Yeah.
it turned into something like everything does over time. It turned into something that wasn't. It was completely away from the point of what it was supposed to be.
Gotcha.
It was still fun, but it wasn't. It was no longer in memory of my best friend. It was just an excuse to party, and I'm like, no, that's not what this is about.
Totally get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was probably not a great question. So maybe edit that out.
Well, actually, I hadn't really said a whole lot about it, so it was it's a good opportunity for
Okay.
when we share the podcast, I'll share it to that page too, where
All right.
everybody's like, oh, okay, that's what's not happening.
Thanks for making me feel better about that.
It was.
I do what I can.
It was all. It was all our fault, right?
Yep.
All right. So as far as what are some things that we should be on the lookout for? After in 2026, what's some?
Well, that'll be. We haven't set a definitive date just yet because we're still waiting on the artwork and all that for the rock record, which is
Okay.
called Curse of the Reaver, and it's likely the only one I'll put out. I don't know. I've got another 2 or 3 albums worth of those songs. If it does well, then I'll follow up. But like I said, I didn't record this one for bankroll reasons. I recorded this one for myself. So this is 100% selfish and personal.
And it
And
is going to be Casper McWade.
it'll still be called Casper McWade, yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's with the disclaimer, hey, this isn't your usual Casper McWade record.
Right.
I wasn't going to do that. It was actually going to be called Reaver. Which and I started doing that when we recorded it, and the guy that I was recording with was going to be a partner in it, and he's like, dude, if you're not going to release it under your name, Casper McWade has steam. That name, people, if they see something new, they're going to go and find it, and they're going to listen to it, even if they don't like it, they're going to listen to it at least once. And he said nobody's heard of Reaver, and I was like, well, fair enough,
And it could work. It could work in reverse too. I would think. If someone wanted to find the new stuff, they could go back and find the.
Heck yeah.
The old too.
Yeah, I mean it could, but after I'd told him I would, we started getting everything moving, and so I was like, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? Completely tank my career. I mean,
Do you have a time period that you're kind of shooting for, or just when it's done, it's?
Well, I'm hoping to have it out by at least by late spring.
Okay.
That's my hope and prayer. I've got the guy that's doing the artwork is very, very well noted. He's a fantastic artist, and he actually did a sketch of me, the most lifelike sketch I've ever seen in my life. Fellow named Isaac Denton, and I reached out to him to do this album work because I was like, if I'm going to put out a rock record, I want this art to be just as iconic as you remember the stuff from the 70s, like Heavy Metal magazine, and you got like all of this badass barbarians with swords and big tit chicks riding dragons.
Right.
I was like, dude, yeah. I was like, let's go big,
So
I mean, not necessarily on the boobs, but we're gonna go big anyway.
I mean, whatever works. But so I met Isaac at North Springs.
He's Tennessee guy.
Yeah, he lives in North Mississippi. He's
okay.
He's basically a Memphis fella. So
yeah.
This is the first time I've told anybody that he's doing the artwork on it.
Oh,
so.
okay. All kind of breaking news shit going on here.
Yeah, boy, it is.
Yeah, no, he was. He had a lot of great work on for sale and display at North Springs. So, just talk to him for a long time. He was a good dude for sure. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to see that.
From what I know of him, like I've not got to meet him face to face yet, but we've chatted quite a bit. And I mean, he's God bless him. But they've been going through some stuff, and that's not my place to say, but he's still just plugging away doing. He's 100% professional.
He's a vet too, right?
He is. Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. right in my wheelhouse. When I was looking for somebody to do the art, I was like, I had a couple different people I posted out on social media. Hey, I mean this or that done. Graphic designer hit me up. I had a couple. Had one gal. I'm not going to drop her name, but she did a bunch of stuff, and I said, here, it's important to me. I said, this is art I'm putting out. I want original art. No AI bullshit.
Right.
Kept sending me these AI images, and I'm like, no. I was like, it's very obvious this is computer generated. I don't want that.
Right.
And so she sends me, no, I need you to pay me this amount of money. I was like, I'm not paying you. I'm not using this art. I told you this is not what I wanted.
Right.
Well, do you think it's fair that I did all this work and I don't get paid for it? And I said, I learned a long time ago, keep your receipts. So I went through all of the exchange and I sent back the screenshots. I was like, this is what we agreed on. You said if I didn't like it, that it is what it is. But I was like, here, keep the deposit. I gave her a hefty deposit. So keep the deposit. Well, I think you need to pay me. I'm sending you a bill. I was like, send it. I said, you can send me the bill. It's like taking my driver's license and telling me I don't have the ability to drive anymore. I said, no, I don't have that piece of bullshit you telling me I got to have.
I can throw it on the kitchen table with the rest of them, man.
Yeah, but I thought that was a kind of odd. I was like, I've never had somebody say, here, I'm going to do a sketch, and if you don't like it, don't use it. Well, I gave you a sketch, and I spent time on it. You should pay me, $400. I'm like, how about you take a shit and fall back in it and tell me how much you like that?
There you go. Clip, cut.
Exactly.
All right.
Hey, I'm sure a bunch of artists go through bullshit like that too. It's crazy.
Oh man, it really is, and the sense of entitlement nowadays with everybody thinking that they're owed something just because they live and breathe. I'm like, I owe you nothing. Move on.
The cool part about it is that you get to meet folks like Mr. Isaac and stuff like that. That's it makes the good one shine through more though. So
Absolutely, man, and I mean, his work speaks for itself. If I'd have never even had a conversation with the guy, I still would have been like, he's the guy to do this.
Yep.
I had a guy that, sadly enough, we aren't really. I wouldn't say with that. I don't dislike him or hate him or nothing, but we don't really speak anymore because of some reasons I'm not going to say. But he was a fellow named Scott Yahtzee, and he's an amazing artist as well. He did the Unraveled artwork and a bunch of my T-shirt designs. The guy's ridiculously talented. That's one thing I won't take from anyone is what their talent is. But he wasn't really an option on this, and I'm kind of glad because Isaac's going to come through with something that's going to be way more personal, almost completely all hand drawn. And he sent me the first rough sketch, and I was like, dude, you listen. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we're
cool.
looking forward to seeing
That's
it.
cool.
Super fired up about it.
Yeah,
we want to try to stay committed to the hour, so
Yep.
we're at the rapid fire section. But before we get to that, Casper, can you tell us where is the best place to find you on socials? Best place to stream your music or wherever you steal it, I guess. But
yeah, absolutely. Of course, all of the usuals: Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Everybody's, it's all Casper McWade, McWade. Website should be up and firing. If it's not now, it will be directly. I had to redo a couple of things and get the rights back from the previous guy who tried to put his thumb in my butt. CasperMcWade.com. And then streaming, of course, the place we love to hate, Spotify. Every time you stream it there, I get at least 1/100th of a penny. So big ups to Spotify for keeping two thumbs in there, and but yeah, that's the main places. iTunes, man, I'll tell people buy it from Apple.
Yeah.
And if you've spoken with any very very many artists, especially original artists, Apple pays more than anybody else. I believe. I think I get something more like 70 to 80 cents a spin or a purchase.
Yep.
And Spotify, I get a portion of a penny.
Right.
So yeah. Spotify sucks, but sadly enough, everybody wants to know what your Spotify numbers are.
Sure. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion that
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to have enough time to get into. But
Oh yeah.
uh,
I'm about to say how many hours you boys got?
Well, one of these
oh
days
man,
we'll just have a podcast strictly on that and invite guests on just to speak on that.
just
That's just
just
like
spewing
instead like an
hate,
open mic.
right? Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to do the rapid fire now, and then so we're going to set you up for one really important question with Soul Gravy before we get out of here.
Do you have the
Uh,
podcast question? The if
I do. I put it in now,
Okay, cool. All
so
right,
super excited about that.
got it.
Soul
All
Gravy,
right,
it's been added.
okay.
We're going to start Casper off with kind of a thinker's question. You get dinner with one historical figure. Who are you going to break bread with?
Ponce de Leon.
Oh, boom. We have not had that one
No,
before.
no, no.
All right. What are you guys eating?
Chicken.
All right. Well, chicken with Ponce de Leon. I like that
All right.
answer. All right. I can ask you this because I've seen you play multiple times. What do you see when you play?
Nothing. If you're watching me, my eyes are closed.
Okay.
I'm rarely looking out. That's I try to go back into the moment where I wrote the song so I can bring the emotion to the live show. That's kind of that's my gig.
All right. Well, I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what. Now I'm fulfilled because I got an answer to that. Here's a question that we like to ask everybody. What's one song of yours that you feel maybe is a little bit underloved?
Um, Probably Unraveled.
Okay.
That's yeah, I think that one probably it's the co-write with Cody. Uh,
Yep.
and I mean it's not that it wasn't appreciated. I just think that it's a much better song than what the numbers project.
All right. Well, we like to give homework. So, folks, if you're watching, first responsibility is to leave here. Go follow Casper McWade wherever you steal music, and then listen to Unraveled because it's a great team. So, good answer. You, Casper, this is Soul Gravy's question. It is new, so you're one of the first people to answer this. But if you were to start a podcast, which I'm sure is high on your list of things that you want to do,
It actually is.
okay, all right. Well, who's going to be the first guest? And we'd like it to be musical if possible.
My favorite band in the world is a punk rock band from Southern California, and I've on the rock record, the lead guitar player from this band is playing lead guitar on the record,
Oh,
and the singer has become a very good friend of mine, and so I would love to pick his brain. His name's Trevor Keith, and the band's Face to Face,
okay.
Okay.
and that would be my first. That would hopefully be my first guest.
Yeah. All right. Well, we speak these things into existence. One of the things that I notice just from trying to pay attention, you have some really interesting pockets of places that you tour. Um, Everybody has their own strategy, but is there anything maybe that you could share about these pockets that you've built?
Absolutely, I have no strategy, and it's just I mean, play anywhere you can. If there's somebody's actually listening, even if it's 5 people, you should be fucking thankful because not everybody can get that. And so I go where people appreciate me, and if I've been there once and it was cool, I'm coming back.
You're going back. All right. Nice. Well, it is interesting to kind of look at those things, and I'm always curious where people are playing. So, um, speaking of places to play, bucket list venue. Let's say one in the state of Oklahoma and one outside the state of Oklahoma.
I don't have one in Oklahoma. It used to be the Canes Ballroom, but I've done that,
Yep.
and so that was my bucket list there.
Okay.
There's not really anything else that I give a shit to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Oklahoma,
Sure.
but I've already kind of hit the pinnacle there. Uh, Elsewhere, probably Green Hall. I've not done it yet down in Texas, and
Yeah.
so it's not that it's super unobtainable. It's just I haven't done it.
Just haven't had a chance. All right. Cool. First concert you attended, and then first concert you paid your own money to go see.
First concert I attended was with my best friend. Grant was my drummer for 30 years, and we went and saw a band called Sponge in the early 90s.
Okay.
They had a song called Molly, 16
Yeah.
Candles. It was a
Oh, yeah,
big hit.
for sure.
So I got to go see them. Yeah, I got to see them at the what the hell was that? Anyway, in Oklahoma City, Diamond Ballroom is where it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Nice. I think the last question I want to ask, if you could put your music into any movie or soundtrack or TV show, which one would you choose?
Boondock Saints 3.
Okay, there you go.
It's coming soon. I need to get a hold of my buddy Sean Patrick Flannery and tell him to tell Fox or whoever's got the rights that they need to put my
Let's
shit
make this
in the movie.
happen. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, great answer. All right,
All right.
it's all yours.
All right. This started as a joke on episode 1, and now is still rolling. So it's a very important, hard-hitting question, Casper. So we all want to know, what's your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't eat sweets, but I guess if it was anything, it would have been what probably what Little Debbie was. It Ho-Ho's.
No, I don't think
That's
so.
Hostess.
That's Hostess.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
Little Debbie ain't
you got
sponsored us
Ho-Ho's
yet
and
anyway.
Ding Dongs. It sounded like a party to me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, part of our deal is figuring out, we get to talk to folks all over the country, and we try to figure out where the barrier line is for
It is odd.
Hostess and Little Debbie, because they definitely are in competition. So
Yeah.
also still waiting on a sponsor from either one of those. But
Definitely.
folks, thank you so much for joining tonight, Casper. We really appreciate you taking time. I know you made a long drive to get here, and thanks for doing it.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you guys. Keep kicking ass.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, see y'all.
All right.